top stories this evening, sponsored by Courts, bringing value home. Adriana Young laid to rest. Mourners renewed calls for her killers to be brought to justice. Norton vowed development of modern copyright laws once elected into office. Artists must earn from their craft, he says. Day 17 election fraud trial. Presidential advisor Kit NASCIMENTO details disruption during tabulation. And GECOM swears in returning and supplementary returning officers. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm Travis Chase with the Monday, June 23 edition of the HGP Nightly News. We have what you need to know this evening. It was a solemn day on the east bank of Essequibo as a child who died under serious, questionable circumstances was finally laid to rest. More details in this report. The questionable death of 11-year-old Adriana Soraya Young has left her family and community in mourning, with her parents and other loved ones calling for justice as the child was laid to rest on June 22, 2025 at the Virgin Eugene Cemetery. The funeral was attended by a host of family and friends who shared testimonies of their love for the child and reinforced their call for those responsible for her death to be brought to justice.
But the Guyana police force failed her. The powers that be in this country failed her. Not once, not twice, but repeatedly, cruelly, shamelessly. They buried the truth under red tape, drenched justice in silence, and hoped we would forget. But I will not whisper through this grief. I will not bow to silence, because silence protects the wicked.
Amid tears and grief, mourners at the funeral urged the government of Guyana to take condign action to ensure justice is served. Tributes poured in, most of which have intensified calls for accountability and action.
No child deserved that. She deserved a future full of dreams, laughter, and life. Today, we're not only remembering Adriana with love, but we also call for justice. We ask that those who hurt her be held responsible. We ask for fairness, we ask for truth, and we owe it to her never to be silent.
Adriana Young's death has sparked public concern regarding the safety and the security of children. Nicole Cole, who sits on the Rights of the Child Commission, also called for stringent measures to prevent such incidents and ensure the well-being of children across Guyana.
That's going forward. All hospitality, the tourism and hospitality industry tag must have a child protection policy. It is with keeping with international standards, whereby a child that checks into a facility to have recreation, immediately that policy kicks in. There is a child protection officer. Everyone there is trained, from the guard right down, the receptionist. And so if someone is there watching the child, it would also force hotels and all hospitality places to have a lifeguard.
The body of the grade 6 pupil of Parika Salem Primary School was retrieved from the pool of the Doubleday Hotel on April 24. The same pool had been searched before. 3 pathologists concluded that 11-year-old Adriana Young died as a result of drowning. However, after conducting a second autopsy, Dr. Carol Terry, Chief Medical Examiner of Gwinnett County, Georgia, said that she would be reluctant to say that Adriana Young drowned, maintaining that drowning is a diagnosis of exclusion. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. Antonio Day tells us now that leader of the People's National Congress Reform, Aubrey Norton, is adamant that should he be elected to office come September 1, 2025, modern copyright legislation will be on the agenda to allow young artists the ability to monetize their talent.
chiding the incumbent regime amid its failure to enact a modern copyright legislation, which serves as a custodian of intellectual property, was opposition leader Aubrey Norton. This will be on the agenda, according to Norton, should he be elected to office come September 1st, 2025.
Our innovative and talented youths will benefit from the APNU government introduction of intellectual property laws, inclusive of copyright laws to facilitate the monetization of their skills.
The presidential candidate for a Partnership for National Unity, APNU, explained that given that Guyanese are multi-talented, the enactment of key legislation is important.
There are rules, and one of the things you can do is insist that radios, play, and television use a certain amount of local talent.
Attorney General Anil Nandalal had earlier this year said Guyana was awaiting Caribbean Community Model copyright legislation before replacing the 1956 British Copyright Act that Guyana had inherited from Britain due to attaining independence in 1966. This to date never came into being. Norton expounded on how artists can earn from their craft with a robust copyright legislation.
Now, we also believe that as a government, you can help artists by ensuring that they have a livable income like we intend to do with athletes once they arrive at the national level. And so we will put a slew of measures in place to facilitate the development of these artists and them transforming the talents into earnings.
The presidential hopeful also noted that while key legislation is important, artists must ensure par excellent performances. Attorney at law Tini Husti, during a previous interview with Nightly News, expressed grave concerns regarding intellectual property violations, given the lack of a robust legislation.
The extent to which one can think of copyright violations, it's mental or intellectual rape, because someone has come and taken what you have done and produced from your mind without asking you.
Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
A key witness in the high-profile election fraud trial has testified that a well-known political figure disrupted vote tabulation during the 2020 general elections. The witness, Kit NASCIMENTO, an advisor to the president, detailed events that unfolded at GECOM's command center on March 4, 2020, while under cross-examination on day 17 of the trial. Tiana Cole will tell you more.
93-year-old Kit NASCIMENTO, who served as an independent observer during the 2020 elections and now advises President Irfan Ali, told the court he visited 4 polling stations on election day and later reported to the Private Sector Commission. He testified that on March 4, 2020, at GECOM's command center, he observed tabulations being called by returning officer Clement Mingo, and PPPC representatives objected, and GECOM Chair Claudette Singh entered the room and halted the process. NASCIMENTO said the proceedings were then disrupted by Carol Smith Joseph, described as a known PNC figure who shouted at Mingo to continue and ignore objections. When asked to identify Smith Joseph in court, NASCIMENTO was unable to, though she was present in the courtroom. Shortly after, defense attorney U.C. Anderson told the court that the witness's wife seated in the courtroom pointed towards the direction of the defendant. Magistrate Faith McGusty then ordered the woman to leave. Under cross-examination, attorney Nigel Hughes asked if NASCIMENTO gave false information to police in August 2020. The witness said he could not answer because the question was unfair. The magistrate asked the prosecution to clarify the witness's function in the court to avoid evoking certain privileges. NASCIMENTO admitted that in his 2020 police statement, he made no mention of the March 4 events until a later time. In the afternoon session, attorney Anderson questioned him on his income sources since President Ali took office. NASCIMENTO said he was specially appointed by the president to assess 19 state-owned entities. When asked about his support for the PPPC 2020 manifesto, NASCIMENTO said he did support it but maintained he was an independent observer during the elections. The trial was adjourned to June 25. This ongoing case involves several former GECOM officials and political operatives accused of attempting to rig the 2020 general elections. They faced 19 charges related to electoral fraud. The prosecution plans to call about 73 witnesses. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Tiana, for your reporting. Stay with us. There is more news ahead.
Welcome to SNL Electrical Inc., where lighting and electrical needs are met with expertise and style. From the latest in electrical lamps to durable cables, circuit breakers, panels, we have it all. Illuminate your space with our elegant chandeliers, stunning crystal lights, and versatile pole lights. Looking to upgrade your comfort? Explore top-of-the-line AC units and our diverse selections of stylish styles. Visit us at 170-180 Dolman Street, Kitty, Georgetown. Discover solution that not only lights up your world but transforms it. Call us on telephone number 226-3018 or 223-1634. SNL Electrical, empowering your life with elegance, quality, and care.
With 70% ethyl alcohol, Mighty Foam Hand Sanitizer eliminates 99.99% of all germs and even moisturizes in the process, leaving your skin clean and hydrated. Mighty Foam Hand Sanitizer. How do you stay clean?
Krishna Ralph Establishment. No job is too small or too large. We specialize in all types of fabricating, machinery, excavator repairs, rice field pumps, and hydraulic hoses. Visit us at Lot 113, Block CC Monrepo, East Coast, Demerara, or call 220-9624, 616-9416, or 619-7880. At Krishna Ralph Establishment, no job is too small or too large.
This is the HGP Nightly News. Welcome back. You need to know now that the United Nations Security Council met for an emergency session on Sunday. This followed U.S. strikes on Iranian nuclear sites. Guyana chaired the meeting as it holds the Council's presidency for June 2025.
The U.S. bombing of Iran's nuclear facilities has sparked global concern and heightened tensions in the Middle East. U.S. Secretary General Antonio Guterres warned the region is at risk of falling into a dangerous cycle of retaliation.
The people of the region cannot endure another cycle of destruction. And yet, we now risk descending into a rat hole of retaliation after retaliation.
He urged diplomacy, protection of civilians, and safe maritime navigation. Guyana's Ambassador Caroline Rodriguez-Burkett led the meeting. She said the agenda is threats to international peace and security, and she called for calm and a return to dialogue.
We call on influential states to encourage the parties in this direction. Resist the temptation to fan the flames of conflict, given the potentially grave humanitarian and security impacts.
Iran's UN Ambassador Mir Sahid Arvani said Iran's military will decide when and how to respond.
We will take all measures deemed necessary at our disposal to protect our people. The timing, nature, and the scale of Iran's proportionate response will be decided by its armed forces.
Israel's ambassador Danny Danon said his country will not stop attacks until Iran's nuclear capabilities are dismantled.
Thank you. Thank you to the United States for removing the greatest threat to global security. Thank you, President Trump, for acting when so many hesitated. Thank you for protecting the free world.
Meanwhile, acting U.S. Representative to the United Nations Ambassador Dorothy Shea told the Council Iran must be stopped.
This Council must call upon the Iranian regime to end its 47-year effort to eradicate the State of Israel, to terminate its drive for nuclear weapons, to stop targeting American citizens and interests, and to negotiate peace in good faith for the prosperity and security of the Iranian people and all other states in the region.
Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
With the police now, a castle security guard is being hunted after he turned his service weapon on his place of employment and escaped with the day's earnings. Police are searching for a 24-year-old casino security guard who held the casino staff at gunpoint and escaped with $13.1 million Guyana dollars. Police were called to the Fantasy Gaming Lounge on Sunday morning after the lawmen received reports that gunshots were heard inside the gaming lounge. When the police got there, they were told that the casino's security guard used his service weapon, a 9mm pistol, and shot at an electric door and demanded that the casino's cashier open the very door. Police said the cashier was scared and complied with the robber. Once through that door, the robber then ordered the cashier to open the vault and place all the cash into a garbage basket. Nightly News understands that after the cash was packed into the garbage basket, the robber then walked out of the building, then onto the East Coast Railway embankment. Police cameras captured the moment the robber stopped a silver grey Primo Moto car, PZZ 5690, and drove off in a western direction. Police said the car then turned north onto Pump Road, west onto the Rupert Craig Highway, then somehow vanished. Investigators said that they processed the scene at the Fantasy Gaming Lounge and retrieved one 9mm spent shell. Police searched the home of the suspect, but no cash was found. The spent shell was marked, sealed, and lodged. Police say efforts are being made to locate the motor car and the suspect. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. This is the HGP Nightly News. Stay with us. There's more news ahead.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. Sevon's Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455.
Hey, I would like to purchase all these auto parts here. This is for my Pitbull bus. This here is my bus as well, and this is here for my excavator. Only something 1,600?
Yes, only at Gen N Accessories. We offer high quality, affordable heavy-duty machinery spare parts for various machines at unbeatable prices. We also crimp hydraulic hoses.
So guys, if you're looking for your auto parts, whether it's for your heavy-duty machinery or let's say your Pitbull bus, please check out Gen N Accessories at Lot 1 Public Road, Priceless, East Coast, Demerara.
ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Thanks for staying with us here on the HGP Nightly News. The 10 returning officers and the 10 supernumerary returning officers approved by the Guyana Elections Commission for the upcoming general and regional elections were on Monday administered their oaths of office by GECOM's chairperson, Justice Retired Claudette Singh. The swearing-in ceremony, according to GECOM, was held in its boardroom. The ceremony marks a key step in preparations for the conduct of the elections, since the returning officers will be responsible for overseeing the electoral process in their respective districts. The supernumerary returning officers will have responsibility for the respective sub-districts in Districts 3, 4, and 6 as provided for in the Representation of the People's Act. The elections body says it has advised that the schedule of the names of all the appointed returning officers and supernumerary returning officers, along with the addresses for their respective offices, be accessed on its website. Antonio Day tells us now that the state will not sign any agreement before the 2025 elections with Turkish company Car Powership, which has proposed to use Guyana's natural gas to supply 300 megawatts of power to the country's power grid.
Going to conclude any arrangement with Car Power before the elections.
That was Barry Jagdeo, General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party Civic, and the country's sitting vice president during last Thursday's press conference at Freedom House. Mr. Jagdeo said that no agreement will be finalized by his government with Fulcrum LNG before the PPPC ends its term in office.
We are not going to have any movement on the gas monetization project before the elections.
The party's general secretary also said similar agreements will be applied for prospecting licenses for oil and gas development. At present, the Turkish company is supplying the national grid with almost 100 megawatts of electricity from 2 ship barges positioned and stationed in Berbice and the Demerara rivers. With the current gas-to-energy project's completion delayed to mid-2026, Car Powership is offering to place a floating power plant that can generate 300 megawatts of electricity using the natural gas reserves from the Starboard Block. The government has been touting that once the Wales gas-to-energy project becomes operational, the cost of electricity will be reduced by 50%. Mr. Jagdeo last Thursday hinted that a promised 50% reduction in electricity costs may not materialize. David Patterson, former public infrastructure minister, from the outset had criticized this initiative.
I'd like to commend the Vice President for being finally trying to be truthful. We have said this from the very initial stage. It's a very poorly planned project.
To this end, he posited that it will be impossible for the 50% reduction in electricity costs to be realized, given the current woes experienced by the Ghana Power and Light Company.
Inefficiencies in GPL, as well as the default in the transmission line. You have to add on an additional 11 US cents. That's what we're paying now.
Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned for your regional news.
A new look, news time, with the same great taste in the 250 ml can. Everybody run out now. Go and go grab one. Me charge up with a turbo 250 ml at your favorite spot. Wait, sell. New look, new can, same vibes. Jinxing, energize up your life. Vibes up, work time, anytime we are turn up the party with Turbo Can. Turbo Can, Turbo Can, Turbo Can. Now available in the new 250 ml can. Turbo energy drink. Charge up today.
Crispy, creamy, what a catch. So tasty. What a catch. With a caramel center. What a catch. And so much chocolate. Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. First it's crispy, then it's creamy. With so much chocolate, smooth and milky. And when you go a little deeper, you find caramel. Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, 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 oh. What a catch. You know we love you. What a catch. Oh, 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 oh. First it's crispy, then it's creamy. What a catch.
You know, I've been thinking, since I moved over to the west side, this is the perfect location for put up a food stand.
Put up food stand here?
Yes, Officer Bling.
No, Granny, you can't put up no food stand here.
Why not?
Because the gas to energy pipeline.
Gas to energy? Why is that?
They can bring gas from offshore to region 3, that can turn into electricity and other things.
So what about if Granny put it up over there?
No, Granny, listen. This whole area here, from here to the West Bank, is considered the right of way. So nobody can build, plant, dig, or burn nothing here.
But what if I am?
No buts, Granny. Listen, you could get yourself or others hurt. Watch, you see this number here? You call it if you see anybody doing anything out of the way or doing anything they're supposed to be doing, like building, digging, or burning stuff on the right of way.
All right, grandson, I hear you.
Good evening and welcome to Monday's edition of the Regional News. An 8-year-old girl was among 3 people who died in a motor vehicle crash at the intersection of the Salt River and Mitchelltown main roads in Clarendon on Saturday morning. According to reports, the incident occurred around 9:15 a.m. and involved a 2003 white International motor truck and a 2016 green Toyota Corolla motor car. Along with a child, the 44-year-old woman and a 46-year-old man were killed in the collision. Since the start of the year, 181 people have been killed in traffic accidents on the nation's roads compared to 198 over the same period last year. 8 people were killed after a hot air balloon carrying 21 passengers, including the pilot, crashed and sank in Brazil's southern state of Santa Catarina, state officials said. The tourism balloon caught fire during the flight in early morning hours, crashing in the forest area in the city of Praia Grande, according to the state fire department. The city is a popular tourist spot for balloon trips in Brazil. The Santa Catarina government estimates that 25 to 30 hot balloons depart daily from Praia Grande in peak season, with most of them having capacity to transport as many as 25 people. 13 survivors were transported to nearby hospitals, according to the fire department. In a post, an ex-Brazilian president, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, expressed solidarity with the families of the victims, saying the federal government is available to local and state forces acting in the case. Indigenous and riverine communities in the Loreto region of the Peruvian Amazon have quote-unquote chronic exposure to mercury, according to a new study by the Center for Amazonian Scientific Innovation at Wake Forest University in the United States. The test results released this month show nearly 80% of the people tested late last year had levels of mercury far above the safe limits in 6 communities. The results showed 37% of 273 men, women, and children tested had levels of mercury at more than 10 ppm or parts per million in their hair compared to just 3% under the 2.2 ppm safe limits established by the World Health Organization, WHO. Gold prices have soared by nearly 50% in the last year, beating successive record highs and encouraging a flourishing illegal gold mining trade that is damaging local nature and biodiversity and raising significant health concerns. Illegal miners use mercury to extract gold particles from the river silt and then burn off the toxic metal, which turns to vapor and is absorbed by surrounding plants, soil, and rivers, said Claudia Vega, head of the mercury program. Mercury poisoning is associated with several health issues, including cognitive impairment in adults and irreversible developmental delays and learning difficulties for children and babies in the womb. Thank you for watching. I am Tiana Cole.
Adriana Young laid to rest. Mourners renewed calls for her killers to be brought to justice. Norton vows development of modern copyrights law. Once elected to office, artists must earn from their craft, he says. Day 17 election fraud trial. Presidential advisor Kit NASCIMENTO details disruption during tabulation. And GECOM swears in returning and supplementary returning officers. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm Travis Chase. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.